Hey guys, I hope everybody's getting ready for Thanksgiving. Had some questions from one of our friends about how to handle Tesla or what was. We had so many Tesla calls today and he found that it got a little bit confusing. So let's just take a look at what happened today. Right out of the gate, it opened and it came down and hit our 339.45 threshold level. Now that's a $3 move. So if you're going to take anything on that first bar of trading, you have to scalp it and just peel it off and not expect that it's going to go to the profit objective. And actually, that's what I did with the very first Tesla trade. I took a bunch of shares and just took a few $100s out of the market, and I was done with it. Then the next bar opened just above the pivot line and came down through. And when it did this, it sort of hovered under that pivot for a little bit. It opened at the top, but then it came in. It was just sort of bouncing around. It was obvious. So that's the one that I called in the room and I said, gonna take 339.45, and I'm only gonna target the 338.41 threshold. Turns out it kept going, but I don't care. The fact that it came down and hit, the next target, that's great and everything, but I was just looking for 338.41. I bracketed it up, I let it go, and a lot of times if you have those brackets out there, that's the difference between getting a fill and no fill, and I was just happy to get it going. Then it came back up, did a replay, got up, got just up to the pivot, bounced around in there, came back down to where it opened, which was right at 339.45, came down and gave us another trip to the profit objective. So all told, over the course of the morning, you had 4 shots at Tesla for that first bracket of profits from the trading plan. So that's right from your trading plan. We called those in the room, and then, of course, we took our break right in here. So this is where we're just letting the market settle in, and we're assessing what's going to happen as the day goes on, and how do we figure out where we think things are going to go over the course of the session. Now, this line here comes down, the orange line, right, that goes across there. That is the session VWAP, the volume weighted average price for the current day's trading session. And these lines in here, these are anchored VWAPs. So as the day goes on, what I use these for is to figure out whether or not a previous inflection, so right there where we came back to trading and we saw that there was an inflection at 333.12, we marked it, we were ready for that to come back up there. Is that going to be a significant threshold level as the day goes on? And as we moved later into the day, here around 1 o'clock, 1 p.m., we started firing off trades, and you can see there was a lot of opportunity in here. There were 6 trades that triggered. And what we did was use a limit order to go short right at the touch of the line, because it's a fast-moving stock. The market was fast in Tesla, and if you waited for it to get to the line, which is what I think happened in one situation anyways, if you waited for it to come up here and touch that line and trade through it and reverse, then what wound up happening is you got filled, down in here somewhere sometimes, and that's no good, because then if this is your target and this is where you were supposed to get in, what happens is you wind up getting out there just because you want to keep a tight stop, but really there was no reason to exit this trade ever in here or in here. The only time that we wanted to exit the trade, we had about a 30-cent stop set up on this one, was when we finally had a bar that came up, tagged the line, and didn't stop. It just went up 333.12. We had a 333.40, 45 stop on this, I think. And, it just kept right on going up through the pivot line. Could have taken another short possibly from the pivot as it came back down through. But to be honest with you, by that time, I was just really done with it. We did a lot of Tesla over the course of the day, and there were lots of good opportunities. And when it's trading in the box, when it comes up and it gets right to a threshold level, the first few times are going to be the best. And quite frankly, I was surprised that we got 5 of them out of this thing, except that we had so much confluence right there. We had the volume weighted average price, we had the support and resistance line from earlier in the session, we had all of this volume buy price data stacked up here, And what it did was it just created a situation where every time price got to those lines, price got up to the VWAP, to the support and resistance, it just came back and it would just pound back down again. Wasn't that much. It was only down to 332.45, but it sure did add up over the course of the day, as you can see if you look at the spreadsheet. So Tesla was the standout today, and I just really think this is a good example of some low volume trading where you can get a little bit of an overreaction to certain price thresholds, and this time it really worked in our favor. Okay, happy Thanksgiving. I hope you guys have a great one. I will see everybody back in the room next Tuesday.